Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. My name's Bobby, and this is how I grow orchids and carnivorous plants. Hello and welcome to Cloud Forest Vibes. So today's video is going to be a little different than my normal orchid video. I am trying something out. We're going to do a little tree fern project. I have been impressed with the way that little tree fern slab has been working so far with the little Leptodes unicolor I got from Tarzan. So I went ahead and I ordered some more. I got some of this tree fern, fernwood stuff, orchid board off of Amazon, and I'm going to give it a shot. I have cut it came in 2 slabs this size, so I took one of them and I cut it in half, and then I cut half of the half in half again. So I've got several different size pieces, and at least one of these probably is going to get cut again, so I'm going to have lots of different size mounts, and we are going to mount some of our new orchids and some of the old orchids I have that I think will do better on this stuff and give it a try. So what I've done so far, I've noticed some mold issues, I guess, with this stuff, especially in my tank. So what I've done to prevent that this time is I have given it a bath in my little container here in some really strong Phison solution. And I soaked it overnight, and then yesterday I soaked it in fresh clean water all day. I mean, this stuff's been sitting out just on my rack. It is still really moist, so you'll notice the big difference between this stuff and the stuff that I had before is the thickness. This is at least twice as thick as that stuff that was sent to me with the Harryella, and I believe that's just the tree fern orchid board for like terrariums, backgrounds and stuff. They didn't spring for the good stuff for the orchids. So Bloomify, I'm onto you. But anywho, it's still working good in there, especially because I have it on a Cattleya type, and this thick stuff really does tend to hold the moisture. So anyhow, what I'm going to do, again, I've soaked this in Phison, really strong Phison. I have soaked it in clean water once, and I've let it drip and drain overnight, and I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to go ahead right now and throw this stuff in my little container down here, and I'm going to give this one last soak before we utilize it. Before we go, we are just going to go ahead and dump water all over this thing. Again, the Phison that I used is way stronger than they recommend for orchids, so I just want to make sure we've at least diluted it a little bit. Alrighty, so we're going to let that soak for about half the day. I'm going to get it nice and sopping wet again, and when I pull it out, I'll be back to show you guys. So we are officially at step 2, and I wanted to show you guys this as it's coming out because this stuff holds an incredible amount of water. So we're going to put these up here on my little drying rack, and we're going to let them drip out. And we are going to check on these guys. Now, they've been soaking for about 3.5 to 4 hours. I should have noted the time when I put them in, but you just have to take my word for it. They've been soaking for about 3.5 to 4 hours, and I just want you to watch for a second, because again, they hold a phenomenal amount of water. So now I'm going to let these sit and drip dry. We'll be back in just a little bit again to check on them and start our little discussion about this tree fern stuff. So it has been 1 hour since we've pulled them out of the water, and I want to show you guys something. This is just one of the small pieces. Again, it holds an unbelievable amount of water. The bigger pieces hold, as you would imagine, even more. So, got to keep that in mind when using this stuff. I'm going to give it another hour or so. I'm going to come in here and drain all these off, just like this. And we'll come back in another hour or so and see how they're doing. Hello guys, we are back again. Another 2 hours have passed, and let me show you this. I'm just going to go ahead and prop them. Still full of water. this stuff really does hold water quite well. So that is something we're going to have to keep in mind when mounting orchids to it. I don't think this is going to be very suitable for Tolumnias and certain Cattleya types in my environment. I do have certain Cattleyas that do want to grow a little bit more moist, but not moist, so this might be really good stuff for them. I'm thinking about the Cattleya cernua and a few others like that. Sulfur 90s might really go well on this kind of stuff. So other plants I'm thinking about, dendrobium types, my Silogeny that I just got. I have a few more plants on the way from Tarzane that'll be in a unboxing you guys will see here in the very near future, and at least one of them I believe is going to go on this as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's a fun experiment. I tried this stuff out once early on in my orchid growing career, I guess, or hobby, or whatever you want to call it, and I failed miserably. I didn't treat it right. I didn't put the right stuff on it. I had moss just slathered all over it, and it just molded. It just really went bad really fast. So I'm sure if you were growing outdoors or in an environment that was very warm, moss on this wouldn't really be an issue. I think the whole thing would probably dry out in a day or so. Florida, places like that. But again, it does really seem to hold moisture quite well. Again, if I can grab this square piece, you can still see. Let me zoom in a bit. The moisture gradient on this, it definitely dries from top to bottom. It will, at least while hung. And if you can see that, it is still quite moist down here at the bottom edge of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and leave them propped on edge like this. And I'm going to let them continue to drain, hopefully fully. And we'll be back once they're drier, and I will show you how I cut it and what I do with it, and we might even go ahead and mount an orchid or two. You never know. So we are back, and it is much later. It is, let's see, going on 5 o'clock, and the last time that we checked in was right about noon. So I am gonna show these once again. Now, I took them off edge, but as you can see, they're no longer dripping water. But I will zoom in real close so you can see just how much moisture these things do retain. I don't know if you can see or not. Let me get around here. Awkward. But this part here is absolutely still really moist. I would call it downright wet. So in my environment, again, like I'd said before, I wouldn't put an orchid that has to have a quick wet dry cycle on Tree-fern. I think that would be asking for trouble, unless of course you lived in an environment that was so hot that for some reason this stuff dried out by evening time. If that was the case, then sure. However, in my environment, I know for sure that's not going to be it. So a lot of Laelia types, Tolumnias, things like that that want to dry really quickly. They almost want to spend more time dry than moist. I would probably avoid using this stuff for. However, things in the Oncidium alliance, Maxillarias, Oncidiums proper, a lot of Dendrobiums are, I think, really going to appreciate this stuff, because a lot of Dendrobiums really do want a lot of air to their roots. They want a varying moisture climate so they can nestle in and get more moist or whatever. I think a lot of Bulbophyllums are going to do spectacular on this. That's actually the genus that kind of sparked my curiosity with this. I was talking to Michael McCarthy about having some issues growing Bulbophyllums mounted, especially the small ones, and growing them too moist. So I've gotten used to it. As you guys know, if you guys watch my channel a lot, I've been starting to grow a lot more Bulbophyllums bare rooted on bark, and they've been doing spectacularly so far. So I can only see this being a good thing for them. Let's see, Pleurothalids. I think Pleurothalids would do exceptionally well on this. I have several in my tank. They don't have much moss on the mount. A lot of their roots go bare, or aerial, however you want to put it, and they stay very happy. I think in the right climate, like a tank, I think this would be great for certain Masdevallia species and others like that, Lepanthes, lots of Pleurothalids. Anyhow, so that's my take on it. I think, again, I've got to hack this one probably in half. I don't think I'll use that full board on anything unless it's for a big rambling bulbophyllum, which I don't have one right now that needs that. I do want to try, they make this stuff in a totem, so it's like a 2 or 3 inch by 3 inch square that's rectangular, and you can mount creeping type orchids on it. So that's another thing I'm going to be purchasing in the near future and trying out along with this stuff for my tree fern experiment, I guess is what we're going to call this. I am not going to get into this. It is still far too moist to really do anything with, but what I'm going to do is a round 2 of this. I will do a volume 2 where we take a look at this stuff once it's dry. I will do what I told you earlier. I'll show you how I cut it, how to make a mount out of it, and we will most definitely in that video mount a couple of these plants that I have in mind for this stuff. So thanks as always for watching. I do appreciate it. My numbers are getting close, guys. I am at 850 subscribers as of this morning. So thank you all my new subscribers. Thank you to all the old subscribers who have been here for a while. And here in about 150 subscribers, I am going to hit my next milestone at 1,000. So when that time comes, we are going to do something special for you guys. I think I have a great idea of how to give back, but you guys are just going to have to stay tuned and see. I'll make an announcement here shortly about a giveaway, probably around 900 subscribers, and we'll go from there. We'll definitely do some sort of a competition. I think, again, that was a lot of fun. And yeah, let me know what you think, I guess, in the comments, if you guys liked the last subscriber giveaway, the way I did that with the competition, or if you think we should do something else. Maybe we'll just draw names or whatever we do. But why don't you guys let me know in the comments, and I will work something really cool out for you guys, I promise. Alrighty, until next time, happy growing, stay safe, and I'll see you later.